Hey, and welcome back to Jan's Views on Mafs, Married at First Sight, Australia 2025. Guys, they're all back. They're all back from the retreat, and the next thing scheduled for them is to go to the dinner party. And they all dress up, they all wear like these revealing dresses. Anyway, whatever. So they're all meant to be going to there, to that. Okay, the dinner party. Um, guess who decides they're not going to go? Guess who decides they're not going to go? I've got to stop repeating myself, but I couldn't help it. I've done it for dramatic reasons. Let me tell you. Let me show you who doesn't go. These pillocks. They decide. They sit there. I've never known two more boring people. I'm going to call her Lauren and her puppy Clint. So we've got Lauren and puppy Clint. They're in their box in the sky, and they're like, "Oh well, I think it'd be quite a good idea. Do you know? I really don't want to go. I don't see why we have to go. Really, I don't want to spend my evening with those undesirables and with the people who are just so bogan. Their behaviour is just so boganic. I cannot bear it. So I think it would be nice if we just stayed here, Clint. What do you think?" And Clint went, "Woof, woof, master." So he said, "Yeah, it'd be quite nice if we just stayed in and we order in Chinese or something." And she's like, "Yes, yes, I think that would be fabulous. Let's just stay in and have a meal." Do you know what? These two have no conversation. None whatsoever. I'm telling you, she's there for the wonga, okay? For those that aren't Brits, that means for the money. She can see herself on his boat, hanging out of his helicopter. I mean, she's, she thinks she's like struck gold with old puppy Clint, who is like, "Yes, darling, yes, master, whatever you want." So there they are, while everybody is like in the dinner party, all sort of it kicked off there as well. We'll get there in a minute. I just want to get these two twats done and dusted before we move on to the dinner party. So there, do you know what do you know what annoyed me? Was that the camera crew were in there filming these two sat there all smug, thinking they was so important. Was so important. I mean, we're just so important, Puppy Clint. I don't know what the others will do without us being there because we are just the main act. Piss off and take your camera crew with you. There, that's it. Let's move on. Sorry, guys. I don't normally swear on YouTube, but yeah, sometimes, sometimes you just have to. So let's move on, shall we, guys? So we're not going to talk about Mr. and Mrs. Smug over there, thinking that the whole world revolves around them, because we know it doesn't. But anyway, let's get to the dinner party. Poor Jamie is. I do feel for Jamie, for somebody who looks out for other people, and yeah, she's gobby. I just feel sorry for her. I can relate to her. And sometimes you sort of think maybe you shouldn't say anything, but if you're that way, you can't help it anyway. So all she wants is an apology from Rhi, whatever her name is, and Carina. That's all she wanted in the whole of this. So anyway, I think everyone else seemed to be there before Jamie and Dave. So everyone else is sort of there. "Oh, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen tonight?" They're all thinking it's going to kick off because Lauren and Puppy Dog Clint were going to. They thought they were going to be there, so obviously everybody's going to say to them, "Who the hell do you think you are?" And but it didn't happen because we know why. Why didn't it happen? Because they didn't go anyway. So they're all sort of getting themselves worked up as each partner sort of comes in. We get the usual hugs and everything from everybody wandering in. We've got Athena and Adrian. Oh my God, they're so in love. I think it's lust. They're in lust, which is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine to be in lust with somebody. I can't say it hasn't happened to me. I have to say, might seem a bit odd, but it has happened to me. But the thing is, when somebody goes in there and says, "I'm only in here because I am looking not only for a partner for myself, but I'm also looking for a future stepfather to my little boy," um, you don't expect them to act like they, rampant rabbits every time they're like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, girl, remember what you're looking for. Is he really what? Anyway, I don't want to go on about that again because it's so repetitive. I bore myself with it. Anyway, so they're all happy. Yeah, we're happy bunnies. Well, we know why they're happy bunnies. And then we've got Veronica and Elliot. People seem to be warming to Elliot. I think because Veronica is so vile. What can I say? I mean, come on, woman, give the guy a break. I never thought I'd feel sorry for him because after his behaviour when he was married to Lauren, we all sort of felt sorry for her because he packed his bags and ran after 3 days. Now that we've seen what Lauren's like, are we surprised? No! Don't blame you, Elliot. I don't if I'd even last 25 hours, 25 hours, 24 hours with that person. She is a bitch. That's all I can say. Am I allowed to say that on here? Doesn't matter, I have. So anyway, people as they're warming to him, and then he gets with the I don't know what's wrong with Veronica. No idea. But anyway, he gets with her, and after Veronica has spoken, see what happens is Veronica goes and speaks to Lauren. Listen, I can kind of understand that. Okay. Because she knew that Lauren was obviously with what's his face, and she wanted to find out what it was like. Well, of course, she, Lauren's not going to be singing his praises, is she? She's going to be like, "Oh yeah, well, he was a right piece of rubbish, and he left after 3 days when we were on honeymoon and bloody bloody blah." I mean, so anyway, when that comes up at the dinner party, Veronica was like somewhat sort of held accountable for the way she has been treating Elliot, and Elliot wasn't aware that she had actually gone and spoken to his ex-wife. Yeah, it's interesting. I think their relationship is quite interesting, but I do have to say straight away, I do not like Veronica. I think what she did to Elliot when he explained how he felt when his younger sister was diagnosed with, life-changing illness, I thought was disgusting the way she treated him. No, you don't treat people like that. What's wrong with you, woman? Jackie skips in like the cat that's had the cream. Honestly, these two. Oh, Lordy, Miss Claudie. And the thing is, it's so fake. Because Ryan is like, do you know what he's like? He's like a say a 10-year-old boy in a man's body. He thinks the same as a 10-year-old boy. And a 10-year-old boy that thinks he's Mr. Wonderful and his body is his temple. And yeah. It's like I find it hard to speak on them because I've never met people like that before. They're both very delusional, and I think I was going to say they're both playing each other. I don't even think that they're both playing each other. I just think that he is playing Jackie, and at the moment Jackie's doing everything right. And because she's doing everything right, she lets him, yeah. I mean, he lets her. Yeah, anyway, we don't need to say anything else about that because the thought of it makes me sick. So eventually we have Jamie and Dave. They appear not to much aplomb, it has to be said. Because everybody is like, oh my God, is she going to fire off? Because she is a feisty one. So they're all sort of a little bit cold towards her. And she's feeling it, she's feeling as if she's been let down by her friends. It's as simple as that. It's not a difficult concept to grasp. these two girls, Karina and not Fee, what is it? What's her name? Rhi. They Jamie saw them as friends, and the fact that they have stood behind Lauren or stood behind Lauren's behaviour is just too much for Jamie. She just cannot deal with it. And I felt that what she said was perfectly okay, perfectly understandable. Um, is she a bit shouty? Yes, but listen, we're all different, aren't we? And just because you show passion when you talk does not mean that you're aggressive. And I think that's maybe something that she's heard for a long, long time, that she's aggressive because of the way she talks. But in actual fact, if you actually listen to her, she's very passionate and she's very, very hurt that these two girls have stood behind Lauren's appalling behaviour when at the retreat, when all Lauren did was slag off everybody else, particularly the girls. Girls don't like that. And while we're on that subject, I have to say, I'm surprised that puppy dog Clint likes that in his wife. I don't think that many men would like their women to be so catty and so bitchy towards other women. I mean, what do you think? That's not a very nice trait to have, is it? I mean, because where does it come from? It comes from jealousy. That's where it comes from. Is it stemming from jealousy? I don't know, because I mean she's quite a pretty girl, apart from the filler. I mean, okay, each to their own. But I think we have to remember what happened at her wedding. Do you remember when she married Elliot and her sister was there? Look at the sister. Look at the sister's behaviour, and then look at Lauren's behaviour. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Birds of a feather and all that. Even though they hated each other, do you remember? But, yeah. Two peas in a pod, I would say. Run for the hills, puppy dog Clint. Run for the hills. Enter for centre stage. Rhi, and... what's his name? What's his damn name? Jeff. That's it. Oh, he looks like a Jeff, doesn't he? I tell you what, though, how stunning is she? Absolutely stunning. I think she's probably the most beautiful one there. Although I do also feel that Carina is very good looking as well. We'll get to her in a second. I've got these on the screen now. Let's talk about these. So bless her heart, Jackie is a bit nervous because Jackie, why have I said Jackie? Rhi is nervous because she really likes Jamie, and I think she's realised how Jamie actually feels. She doesn't really know how to deal with it. I get the feeling that Rhi isn't used to conflict. She doesn't like conflict. And so she's in a bit of a tizzy. She says it's affecting her marriage to Jeff, which is a shame. Don't worry about it, darling, you know. She's got a good man with Jeff. Just, yeah, ignore all the crap that's going on around you. But she knows that she's going to be held accountable by Jamie at the dinner party. So she's sat there all teary-eyed. Entering centre stage, we have Carina. I haven't spoken about Carina really. Maybe in the next video. Carina is married to Paul. Paul is French, which is very sexy, I think. I like French men. I like the accent. The only thing I don't like about him is he's not very tall. But anyway, I didn't marry him, so that's fine. Anyway, so, and also a French man called Paul. Why isn't he like Jean Paul? Or what's it? Paul? Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. So she's with Paul. They're very loved up. We'll talk about them in another video. But here she is in all her glory. And it soon starts between her and Jamie and Rhi. But Rhi manages to stay out of it for a while. Carina, who for me looked a bit like Lawrence from Arabia, I don't know what you think, with that cap. Take the thing off your scarf. Take the scarf off it. Just no. Anyway, so she fared very. Listen, what she was saying was, look, I can understand, I like to empathize with people, and I felt really sorry for Lauren because of, because you were all coming at her. You were like a load of, you were like mean girls. That's it. I thought Jamie's eyes were going to pop out of her head. You called me a mean girl. Well, no, that's not exactly what I said, but you were all like talking loudly at her, blah, blah. Jamie's like, but didn't you hear what she was saying? You're happy with her slagging off everybody in there? I mean, what's wrong with you, woman? And Jamie was talking as like, as a friend and sort of saying, I thought we were friends, girl. How can you condone somebody talking so badly about everybody else? And the joke of it was that this bloody what's-her-face with her puppy dog Clint wasn't even there, wasn't even at the dinner party. It's kicking off left, right, and centre. Jamie's like going sort of quite rightly say, listen, I was on Jamie's side. What can I say? Whose side were you on? Could you understand? It's not that I couldn't understand what she was saying, what's this girl's name? Carina was saying. I did understand that, but you need to have a better overview. And instead of just looking and assuming and, you know, going along with the stuck up, obnoxious comments that this bloody Lauren was saying, just say to Jamie, I'm so sorry, darling. You're my friend. I didn't mean to upset you. I just felt a bit awkward at the time. That's all she had to say. She couldn't say it, guys. So in the end, there she is. She storms off and all in tears. I can't deal with it. No, she couldn't deal with the fact that, okay, some might say, well, she did well to stand by her guns, but open your eyes, woman. Maybe take the headscarf off. What can I say? Just open your bloody eyes. You can't go through life. It's all right sort of sitting on the fence and being empathetic, but there comes a point when you have to say, well, that was actually wrong. And you don't go on the side of the person that's instigated it. The most toxic person there, she may not have been the loudest, but she was definitely the most toxic there. Before Carina ran out in floods of tears, saying, oh, they all think I'm stupid. They're saying I'm stupid and I'm not stupid. I don't think they were saying you're stupid. I think they were saying you need to open your eyes. Okay, that's all you need to do. Anyway, so we're back to Rhi. Okay, now, Rhi was sat there listening to Jamie and Carina going backwards and forwards. But Rhi has got more intelligence than Carina. And Rhi did realise what Jamie was trying to say. Listen, some people will say you need a better delivery, okay? And I agree with that. So that's what Rhi was trying to say to Jamie, and she did say it to her. She said, the thing is, Jamie, sometimes you just, your delivery may be a bit harsh. And I will say, I have to say here that Jamie was supported by Athena and also Crazy Eyes. What's her name? Jackie. Yeah. And a couple of the men. But anyway, bless her heart, Rhi was getting so emotional about it. And she said, I really don't want to lose you as a friend. And if I did make you feel that bad, because Jamie was like, you all made me feel so unsupported. And, to side with this woman who's been slagging us all off is just too much for me. I just can't deal with it. Anyway, so Rhi was like, honestly, I am sorry if I've upset you. And anyway, I can't remember word for word what was said, but bless her heart, she spoke from the heart, and Jamie accepted it. And what I wanted was for Jamie to get up from her seat, go over to Rhi and give her a big hug. That's what I wanted. But it didn't happen. But at least they've still got a friendship. Now, in the meantime, we've got what's her face over there. Hang on, let me get a picture up. So Carina's sat there listening to all of this, and she's like, I think she's like, oh, well, that went quite well. How come it went well with her? You know, and I think that's why she got upset. And I think, like she said, like when she was boo-hooing to the producers, she was like, oh, they all think I'm stupid. I think she realizes that she couldn't understand where Jamie was coming from. And she's noticed, or it's obvious to everybody, that Rhi could understand it. And so Karina's like, oh my God, I must look like a right thicko. And that's why she's run out of the dinner party, floods of tears, wiping her eyes with a whatever she had draped round her head. I mean, I feel sorry for her. I like the girl. Yeah, you know, I do like the girl, but I think sometimes just, you know, you said what you said. You can't backtrack. You didn't understand what Jamie was saying, and you've lost a friend because of it. You know, that's it. Get on with it. Move on. Go off with the French guy. That's it, guys. I'm done. I've gone way over time. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments. I always enjoy reading what people have to say. Maybe we can have a bit of a conversation in there. Who are you liking in there? Who are you disliking? Anyway, have a fantastic weekend, and you take care of yourselves out there, because trust me, it's a rotten old world. So until the next one, bye bye for now.